So imagine this. You have to take a final exam for a class that you absolutely have to pass in order to graduate. You stay up all night to study, but once you get to the test, you realize you don't know any of the material on it. Time is running out and you need a good grade. How do you feel? You're probably really stressed out. Hello, my name is Thompson, and today I will be talking about the common feeling of stress. It's safe to assume that everyone has been stressed before. I know I have. As a student, I often feel stressed because of upcoming due dates in my grades, and I like to learn a lot about stress in my health classes every year. Today, I will be talking about what stress really is, the causes and symptoms of stress, and how it affects people in their daily lives. First, let's define stress. According to Cleveland Clinic, stress is the body's reaction to any change that it feels it needs a response or alteration to. So that means stress is really common because life is always changing. Something like a job promotion could lead to just the same amount of stress as losing a job, because those are both big life changes that you need to learn to adapt to. Stress is so common that 79% of Americans claim to feel stress at least once a day, according to Olivia Saad in 8 to 10 Americans Afflicted by Stress. Stress is actually a fight or flight response. So it is the body's reaction to something that it feels is threatening or can lead to an emergency. It is the body's defensive mode, and it's whenever it needs to protect itself from something it feels is harmful. Next, let's talk about the causes and symptoms of stress. The causes and symptoms of stress can be mental or physical, and they can be different for everybody. According to the Help Guide, external and internal factors can be causes of stress. Some common external factors are work, school, relationships, and major life changes. Some common internal factors are pessimism, negative self-talk, and perfectionism. The top causes of stress in adults are marriage, divorce, loss of a loved one, and injury. Stress can be from either something good or bad. Take, for example, for something good, marriage. Marriage is supposed to be a happy time in someone's life. They're proclaiming their love for everybody to hear, and it's supposed to be a celebration. But for some people, that can be really stressful. There's a lot going into it, and it's a big change in their life. Another big cause of stress is fear. If someone is afraid of something, say public speaking, and they have to give a speech in a class, they can feel really stressed out about it. The symptoms of stress can be mental, emotional, or physical. Some common symptoms are anxiety, elevated heart rate, chest pain, nausea, memory loss, and withdrawal from others. For some people, they turn to drug abuse because the symptoms are so overwhelming. But for others, they don't even feel any effects of stress. They can go through their daily lives without really feeling any symptoms. Lastly, let's talk about the effects of stress. Stress can be either good or bad for someone. According to U Lifeline, stress can be a good motivator for someone to get their work done. A lot of people procrastinate and do their work at the last minute because that's when their stress is at the highest and they perform their best. During a fight or flight response, someone's senses are heightened and they usually have a clearer mind. There are many cases where someone has lifted a car off of an injured person all by themselves because their fight or flight response kicked in and they could do it. Another positive thing about stress is it can improve your heart health and fight infection. Stress can also be detrimental to your health, however. Stress can lead to distress, which is a condition in which the body is thrown out of equilibrium, and they can feel physical symptoms like higher blood pressure. Stress is actually connected to the 6 leading causes of death, which are cancer, lung ailments, heart disease, liver failure, suicide, and accidents. Stress can also lead to anxiety and depression, which can lead to harder relationships with friends, a worse work ethic, and all in all, a worse time. So to wrap things up, stress is everywhere. Stress is so common because anything can cause it. It affects everybody differently, and there are many symptoms. So just remember, if you're ever feeling stressed, you're not alone. Just take a deep breath and try and move on. Always remember that.